mean by change? Change means a tax code that doesn't reward the lobbyists who wrote it, but rewards the American workers and small businesses who create wealth and who deserve it. I will stop giving tax breaks to corporations that ship jobs overseas. I'm going to give tax breaks to companies that create good jobs right here in North Carolina. I'll eliminate capital gains tax for small businesses and startups. That's how we'll grow our economy and create the high-wage, high-tech jobs of tomorrow. I will cut taxes. Don't be fooled by these ads now. You know, they're trying to run the okey-doke on you. You know about the okey-doke. Don't let them do it to you. I will cut taxes for 95% of all working families. My opponent doesn't want you to know this, but under my plan, tax rates will actually be less than they were under Ronald Reagan. If you make less than $250,000 a year,
that would be me.
You will not see your taxes increase one single dime. In fact, you know, if we have EMT out here, I think somebody probably just fainted right here. This happens all the time. They're going to be okay. It's just a little hot. Let's make sure the EMT gets out here. All right. If you guys got some water, take a sip of water. It's hot.
Yeah, they fainted right there.
Well, I'm hot too. I'm hot about what happened in Wall Street. I'm a little hot under the collar about these failed economic policies. All right, but I'm also hot about these ads they run. So I want everybody to understand, I offer 3 times the tax relief for middle-class families as Senator McCain does. Because in an economy like this, the last thing we need to do is to raise taxes on the middle class. So don't be fooled. You are more likely to get a tax cut under the Obama administration than under John McCain's plan. So I know what it's like to see a loved one suffer, not just because they're sick, but because of a broken healthcare system. And it's wrong. And that's why, as President of the United States, I'm going to say to the insurance companies, do right by your customers. Pay the claims that you are supposed to pay. Now, I'm going to also create jobs. Jobs of the future by transforming our energy economy. We're going to tap our natural gas reserves. We're going to invest in clean coal technology. We'll find ways to safely harness nuclear power. I will help our auto companies retool so that the fuel-efficient cars of the future are built right here in the United States of America, not Japan, not South Korea, but in North Carolina, in Michigan, in Ohio. I'll make it easier for the American people to afford these new cars. And I'll invest $15 billion a year over the next decade in affordable, renewable sources of energy, wind power, solar power. We are going to create 5 million new jobs that pay well and can't ever be outsourced. And Charlotte, now is the time to finally meet our moral obligation to provide every child a world-class education. It will take nothing less to compete in the global economy. Countries that out-teach us today, they'll out-compete us tomorrow. That's why I'm going to invest in early childhood education to close the achievement gap. Get every child prepared when they start school. And we'll recruit an army of new teachers. And we're going to pay them higher salaries. And we're going to give them more support. But we're going to ask for higher standards and more accountability. You commit to serving your community or your country. If you have served in the armed forces, if you are serving in the Peace Corps, if you are willing to work in an underserved hospital or an underserved school or a veterans home, then we are going to make sure that you can afford a college education. That is a guarantee we can make to every young person in America that's government's doing the right thing. Put people back to work right now. Lay broadband lines so rural communities can plug in to the World Wide Web. Make sure that we create a new electricity grid so we can take that new energy from wind power and make sure it comes to population centers. We can put people back to work right now, and if somebody says we can't afford to do it, you just remind them we are spending $10 billion a month in Iraq, and Iraq has a $79 billion surplus while we've got a deficit. If we can rebuild Baghdad, we can rebuild Charlotte. We can rebuild North Carolina. To act against our enemies where it's necessary, but it won't be a first resort. And I'll make sure our troops are properly equipped and properly trained. And I'll make sure we've got a clear mission and a clear exit strategy. And we're going to use strong diplomacy and not just talk to our friends, but talk to our adversaries. And when our troops come home, we are going to treat them with the honor and the dignity they deserve. Charlotte, this is the change we need. We're not going to be able to accomplish this if we're divided up, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, young, old, rich, poor, gay, straight. We've got to come together as Americans to accomplish our goals. We're going to have to overcome the determined opposition of powerful special interests before we can truly reform a broken economy and advance opportunity. I'm running for president because we can't afford 4 more years. We can't afford an economic philosophy that works for Wall Street instead of Main Street. It ends up devastating both. If you're a child born into poverty, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, even if you don't have boots. You're on your own. We can't afford that. I mean, it's amazing to me that the folks who've been running the show for the last 8 years and have made all these mistakes and created the disastrous situation we're in right now can with a straight face argue that they are agents of change. Charlotte, at this defining moment, we have the chance to finally stand up and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I know we can do it because as Americans we've done it before. Time and again, we've battled back from adversity. I recognize that common stake that we have in each other's success. Time and again, we've drawn on our strength and our innovation and our energy and our hopefulness. The hope that carried us past slavery and Jim Crow, the hope that carried us past the Great Depression and World Wars. And we have to remember that our economy hasn't just been the world's greatest wealth generator. It's bound America together. It's created jobs. It's made the dream of opportunity a reality for generation after generation of Americans. There are values that are at stake in this election. We're not just fighting for policies. We're fighting about who we are and what we believe in and who we fight for. We're fighting for an America where if you try, you can make it. Where the American dream is not just a story, but it's lived out by millions of people every single day. I need you, Charlotte.